coach now than you were when you were in Philadelphia. What have you learned since then, and what's the experience been like since then to get to where you are at this point?
Well, that's a great question, and I reflected a lot the last week, and I originally had the opportunity to work with Ken Hitchcock in Philadelphia. I was a minor league coach. He coached the big team, and learned a lot from him. I got the chance to work with Terry Murray in Philadelphia, and then here in Los Angeles. And then I got to work with Daryl Sutter here and experience enormous success working with Daryl. And I think you learn a lot from all the people you work with. I know I really try to be a student of the game. That's why I was so excited to work with Daryl and the experience and success he's had. And I think early on as a coach, I was a real X and O guy. I was going to teach the game, and I saw it on the board. And then I soon realized that relationships are probably just as important as X and O's in the spirit of your team. And I think through all the coaches, and certainly with Daryl, just how important it is to push your team emotionally, keep them in a good place. And that's probably a part of the game I pay more attention to today than I did 10 years ago.
This question's for Rob. What qualities did you see in him that made you want to hire him as the head coach of this team?
Yeah, I would say, like I said, I've known John for a long time. Probably honesty would be number one. We've dealt with numerous coaches when I played in different organizations I've been in. The honesty factor goes a long, long way. Also, the dedication to hockey. I think you have to be a hockey fan to enjoy the game and to do things, and I've seen those qualities. Like I said, the work ethic, the hours spent, and the preparation that leads to success. I've seen it first and foremost, firsthand, which made that decision very easy.
John, have you thought about assistant coaches yet?
We have, and that's just kind of the preliminary process. Rob and I talked about that briefly. It's the next order of business where we really want to sit down and make sure that we've got the right staff where we can cover a lot of bases. Some of the questions that have been asked were somebody that have a real focus on the power play, on the offensive part of the game, working with our forwards, making them better in those areas, and obviously somebody to continue to work with our defense and develop their game. So we've looked at some guys, but it's only initially. We're going to get together this week, put a list together, start talking to some candidates, and we'll have a much better feel for that when we get deeper into the process.
Rob, it seemed that about 2 weeks ago that John Stevens seemed to be the initial and primary target of this search. What can you just say about just the level of the detail of the talks that you had with John, and what, if we can be privy to that, you guys spoke about over the better part of these 2 weeks?
Yeah, well, no, I've heard the word search for a long time. There was literally no search. I went to John, as soon as the changes were made and expressed our interests, and we sat and we kind of went over a game plan as a review of last year, but also some of the things John's touched on offensively, the style of the game that's being played, the direction of the game, and what we could accomplish to suit that, and the details on the offensive front that will be installed. So, that's taken place pretty much for the last, 10 days or so. But again, that was a decision made early, and we went forward with that.
Okay, Mark?
Rob, how much of John's reputation for being patient with young players went into his selection?
Well, I think that's been a philosophy here with the organization, and it's paid off. I do think there's situations now with salary cap and different things that young players do step in a little quicker than before. They're also trained better now than when we played in different things. So there's a lot that goes into it, but I think you saw that this year firsthand. We talked about some of the young defensemen and some of the young centermen that have come through the organization and played prominent roles down this stretch.
Anybody else? Okay, with that, we will break down real quick for a photo, and then Rob, John, and other members of the organization here that are present will be certainly available to everyone to chat with. So we will move forward there. Thank you.